Now for something completely different. That is something that I bet you've never seen before. In my last video, the part one to this little series, we're looking at the first gen of the MOLLE II rucksack system. And we're looking at it specifically with a mind toward me using it for an upcoming hunting trip. And for that reason, I've left out some of the pieces like the radio pouch and things that I just won't be using. But just about everything in the system is here. Now, one thing I want to do before I go any farther is I want to correct something. I said in the first video that to hold the sleep system pouch or pocket, whatever you want to call it, onto the main ruck, you're supposed to, they expect you to run the vertical compression strap around the sleep system. And after going back last night and looking over the documentation, that's not correct. I think it's better than what they suppose, but it's not correct. What they actually suggest is that you run this strap through here and hold it on. So there it is again, showing you the strap running between the rucksack and the sleep system sack. And there's actually 4 places that you can run the strap, and then by connecting it up here, that'll cinch it up, and that's not terrible, but I just wanted to make sure that you understood that's how they tell you to do it. There's one more bit of housekeeping or correction I want to make, and that has to do with what I'm calling this strip of Alice webbing. I did find one mention of using it to attach the waist pack. That's where the waist pack goes when you put it on the ruck system. And it specifically tells you to use these 2 strap snaps, which is hard to do one-handed, and to attach them right there. So I had hypothesized that possibly that was the place to put the E-tool. And in the comment section on the last video, JJ had hypothesized that perhaps that was where you would put the 2-quart canteen. And those are both 2 great ideas, but there is no mention of that in the information. But that is where the waist pack would go. So let's put that on there now and see how it looks. So there we go. We now have the waist pack attached. It's attached in the back. And then you also run those vertical compression straps over the waist pack. And you can see now that obviously this strap can no longer go under that Alice webbing, which was my idea. And I can see that it's not going to come into play. These vertical compression straps are really used in just about every step as we add more and more gear onto this pack. So we've almost got the pack totally done. I mean, we've got the main ruck, we've got the 2 sustainment pouches, we've got the sleep system attachment, and now we've even got the little waist pack. There's only one thing left to attach to this to totally geek it on out according to the manual, and that thing is right there. So attaching the patrol pack to the main ruck is fairly straightforward. These attachments right here, the strap with these Fastex buckles, that is their main purpose. Now, I've shown you in another video how this is really good for attaching, say, a tarp or a shelter half or even a poncho to the top of your patrol pack, but that's not their main function. you attach the patrol pack to the top of the frame. You've got these spaces right here that are perfect for that, and you attach one to each side. I don't know that it's really necessary, but there's actually a slot. Let's see if I can show it to you. There's actually a slot there for that strap to go into. And you tighten it up, and then you come back around, and you got the ass end sticking up in the air, and you use these two female Fastex buckles, and once again we're going to make use of this vertical compression strap, and we're going to attach it to that female Fastex like so. Now what that does is that leaves the strap coming off the rucksack, off the top of the rucksack, just kind of dangling free. So you need to police that up somehow. They don't really address it, but you need to police that up because it no longer has a male to go into, because the male went into these females. And that, ladies and germs, is pretty much the entire rucksack family all together. That is quite a large pack. Although I'll tell you what, it's really no bigger than my Malice with all of its pockets full. So there it is. That is what's called the rucksack load. And don't take my word for it. That's what the military called it. And it has all the components all together, correctly set up. And when you pull all your straps real tight, you can get a pretty nice tight load. It's better than some, and worse than a few. But that is the full rucksack load. Let's look at some of the other ways that you can carry this gear. If you remove the sleep system carrier from the rucksack, you're down to what they call the intermediate rucksack load. And that makes a lot of sense. Again, that's one reason why I really like the idea of a separate sleep system carrier, is because now take this thing off, you're leaving this at base camp or hunting lodge, whatever you've got, and you don't have to worry about that. You still got the gear that you need to go out on an extended patrol. Now, some of the details I didn't mention about this earlier is, like almost everything, almost every one of the pouches on this system, they've got it hooked up so that you can get a carrier strap, and I think it actually came with a carrier strap when it was issued, and you can carry this thing around. And I can tell you many a time, and if you served in the military, you probably can also think back to a time that you were moving at a base camp from hooch to hooch, and you would carry your sleep system and drop it on a cot and then go on out and do whatever you're going to do. So I really like that, and that's one reason why I really like having this separate from the rucksack. So that is the intermediate rucksack system. All right, to get to our next iteration, we want to remove the sustainment pouches, and that gives us a much more streamlined pack, and that's called the light rucksack load. Now, this points out to me one of the biggest failings of this pack, and it's that instead of putting regular MOLLE here, even just two strips of it, they only put enough MOLLE to make the sustainment pouch work. And to me, that really reduced the usability of this side and the other side. And I think that's one of the big failures. If it was me, I would have run, at least MOLLE there, and probably 4 strips. Now, when you do remove the sustainment pouches, you got to police up your straps. These are compression straps, and you can pull them tight and get a little bit of compression. I mean, they don't go very far, but they help. But then you need to police up your straps, and if you got some Velcro to police them, that's good. If you don't have it, you do the old field expedient, but you don't just let them dangle. That's unsat. All right, so that's the light rucksack load. So now is where it really gets interesting. We are going to remove the patrol pack and the waist pack off of the main ruck, and we're going to leave the ruck at a patrol base or something, and we're leaving it behind. And now we're going to go to something a lot lighter and more of a fighting trim. This, ladies and germs, is the assault pack load. And this may be the solving of a mystery. You see, they call this the patrol pack. But when you put the waist pack on the bottom of it, it is the assault pack load. So evidently, they meant for the combination of these two to create the assault pack load. Patrol pack, waist pack equals assault pack load. Am I driving that into the ground? All right, and it goes together really well. I think I went over that already in the other video, and it holds real good. I'm pretty impressed with it. And you know, I've never seen anyone show that iteration, and I never really even thought about it. I had this waist pack. I really bought it just because it was part of the whole patrol pack or rucksack pack system, and you know, it was a fanny pack. I didn't think much of it, but now I see it is their idea of a very movable butt pack. Pretty much takes care of the different iterations that they expect you to be able to build out of this pack system. Now they do mention putting the sustainment pouches on the side of the patrol pack, and I showed you that. But I've been playing around, and there's a couple of other things you could do. If you didn't want to carry two sustainment pouches with your patrol pack, you could put one on right back here. This webbing here, and then this webbing right down here allows that to happen, and it holds really well. I don't know if they meant for that to happen, but it's very, very doable. And the same goes for the waist pack. If you don't want to carry it below the patrol pack for some reason, you can attach it right here on that piece of webbing, like so. And once again, just like on the other setup, you run the waist pack strap through the top of the patrol pack, and makes for a pretty good setup. And again, I can't swear they meant for that to happen. I can't find documentation to it, but the fact is, it does work. You know, if you had two waist packs, you know, you could easily carry one on the bottom and one on the top. Now, you got to keep in mind, even though it's really well padded, they're very thin straps. Another thing I want to mention, since I'm sitting here looking at it, is you've got two sets of attachments for your patrol pack shoulder straps. And that's just that if you're wearing, you know, maybe body armor or that fighting vest, and you need a wider stance for your shoulder straps, you go with the outside. Or if you're a narrower person, you might want to go with the inside. That's just a little gimme they threw in there. And of course, if you aren't carrying the sustainment pouches, there's plenty of MOLLE for attaching canteen pouches or general purpose pouches on the side of the patrol pack. So that's pretty much going to do it for this two-part video. We've delved into the first generation MOLLE II rucksack system, looked at all the different components, and explored the different iterations that the military meant for this system to transform into. You know, it's a really neat system. I don't know why they changed it so quickly. I was very impressed with it, and frankly, some of the fixes that they made in the second generation MOLLE II rucksack system, I don't really think were fixes. The reason I did this video is I'm going to be using this on my hunting trip, and while I may not end up using all of these pieces, this really goes to inform me on what I will take with me and what I might want to do with that gear once I get out there. Whether we're stalking, whether we're going to be going across the river for a couple days, or just going out for the day. Hey, thanks for watching.